Well, hey guys, this is another edition of Off the Cuff with Shawn Hoelscher. Um, so when I started doing these videos, I said that I was going to do a weekly video on Survivor because I love this show. I've been a fan of it since I was in 5th grade. And last week I didn't do a video at all, so we're going to be talking about the 3rd and 4th episodes today. Just like I guess I talked about the first 2 episodes together in my first video, and these will be about the last 2 episodes, episodes 3 and 4. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. I have to say, after these last 2 episodes, I'm really blown away by how well Boston Rob is playing, because how these All-Star seasons work, I for sure thought that all of the big threats, the Robs, the Sandras, the Tysons, the Tonys, I thought that they were all going to go first, and that's not exactly what's going on here. And I have to say, Boston Rob is on the Sele tribe, and more often than not, the Sele tribe has been pretty unsuccessful so far. And I have to admit that I'm really blown away that Rob is still in the game. Everybody knows how dangerous he is. Some people don't like him. They're afraid of him. But he is working his social game magic. If you look at the history of Survivor, even though Boston Rob's won and he's really one of the faces of the show, his Survivor career overall is not that impressive. And I hate to say that about the almighty Rob father, but it's true. His career is not that impressive when you look at it. When he first played Season 4 in Marquesas, he made the merge, but he did not make the jury. Because back then they had 2 tribes of 8, 16 players, and 6 people would be voted out pre-merge, and then they'd merge at 10. And then the first person voted out of that 10-person merge tribe did not go to the jury. They were just out of the game. And then starting at 9 was when the jury started, and then you would have your final 2. So you had 7 jurors along with a final 2. That's how they did it back in the classic days. And Rob was that 10th person voted out of Season 4, so he didn't even make the jury. So Boston Rob was kind of a surprise pick for Survivor All-Stars when they did that in Season 8. But, when you look at I said this in my first video too, when you look at the first 7 seasons, and then you look at who they brought back for All-Stars, the cast is just kind of okay. But hey, with that said, Boston Rob went really far in Survivor All-Stars. He played really well. He won lots of immunities. He had control over just about every single vote. And he ended up in the final 2. And he fell in love with Amber, and he proposed at the reunion show, and he won 2nd place. And then they brought him back for Heroes vs. Villains, and again, he didn't even make the merge in Heroes vs. Villains. And that was his 3rd time playing. So, when you think about the history of Boston Rob, it's really not that impressive. I know everybody loves the guy, but his history is really not that impressive. And I hate to say this too, but Redemption Island really isn't that impressive of a season. It was his 4th time playing, and he just got lucky getting on the tribe that was just all starstruck for him. And so he was able to get his hooks into that group pretty quickly, and he was able to assume power over them. I've always kind of thought Redemption Island was just kind of an excuse for Jeff Probst to give Boston Rob $1 million. And I know that that's kind of mean and harsh to say, but that's just my opinion, man. So with all that said, since he's played 4 times and everybody knows how he plays and how he's like, I'm really blown away that he's made it as far as he has. I thought for sure that he was going to be gone last week. And that leads me to who left last week. And I was really, really just devastated that Ethan got voted out last week. I, above anybody else in the cast, out of all the 20 winners that they brought back, I was really sad that Ethan left, because I wanted Ethan to go to the finals so bad. So bad. He was my number one pick to go to the finals, to hopefully be the next two-time winner. I would have loved that. Out of, just like I said, out of all 20 people, he was the one that I wanted to see make the finals the most. I really loved him in Africa. I liked him in All Stars, even though he didn't go very far. He seems like he's one of the nicest people in the world. He's had a rough go with cancer, and he beat cancer, and I mean, that's really impressive that he was able to do that. I'm just glad that I thought for sure he wouldn't be someone who was ever going to be on the show again, but here he was. And I'm really blown away that out of Parvati, Rob, and Ethan, you vote out Ethan out of that threesome. When you observe him throughout the season so far, he's kind of the guy that's just listening in on all the conversations, and he seemed like he had a good rapport with everybody on his tribe. So I was surprised that he was the one that went. And I know Edge of Extinction is still in play, but I mean, I just don't know if he's strong enough to win the challenge that gets him a spot back in the game. I mean, Natalie Anderson is some serious competition for challenges. And if we think about tonight's episode, Tyson got voted out. And Tyson is excellent at challenges too. So Ethan has a really big mountain to climb if he's going to get a spot back in this game. And that sucks, because like I said, I wanted him in the finals so bad. So with that said, even though I already spoiled who went home tonight, let's talk about tonight's episode. It was nice that Sele stopped being a hot mess, and they actually won a challenge, and the red team went to tribal council tonight. That was an interesting change of pace, especially since that challenge, we were kind of on our toes the whole time. I thought it might have been another unsuccessful night for Sele, the Blue Tribe. They've been struggling, and they struggled today. They had to get on that little pedestal platform thingy, and they had to jump to get the keys to unlock their puzzle pieces for the puzzle that they did. And so Sele had Adam and Parvati and Denise jumping for these keys. Now, the red team got all their keys fairly quickly, and they were off to the puzzle pretty fast. Parvati, surprisingly, was struggling to jump to get the keys, and for some reason they were relying on Adam. Why Denise only jumped once and attempted to get the keys once was kind of mind-boggling to me, because Parvati didn't do a very good job. And Adam was struggling the whole time, and he was getting out of breath, and he's just this little guy. I was just mind-boggled that Denise only tried once, and then that was it. My wife and I got a good laugh out of that. And honestly, I don't get why they chose Adam out of the... It seemed to me that they needed 2 women and 1 guy to get the keys, because I think that's what the red team did. And, I mean, Adam's not very big. I figured that maybe Jeremy or even Ben, Ben's really tall, I figured he would have gotten those keys really fast. I don't know what to say. I was kind of blown away that they kept choosing Adam, especially since he was so out of breath and he wasn't doing so good. But he ended up getting all the keys, and the blue team were able to get the puzzle done with a genuine amount of ease. Last week, Michelle and Rob didn't do so hot with the puzzle part of the challenge, and that's kind of why they went to tribal council last week. But when Rob's on, Rob is on. Rob is still becoming a dad and getting a little bit of a dad bod, and I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I'm a father myself, and I have a dad bod now. I don't mind admitting that. I 100% have a dad bod. I guess it's just something that happens. So I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but Rob still he still got it. I can't believe it. Rob still got it. He's been pretty surprising and impressive so far. So yeah, he still got it. And when he's on and he's doing a puzzle, he knows what he's doing, and he just got in there and just took care of it, took care of things. I was sad to see Tyson go. I think Sandra and Tony and Sarah made a huge, huge error tonight. I thought it was in their best interests for all of the, all the 4-timers, all the 3-timers, Sandra being a 2-time winner. I thought for sure all of those guys would get together and make an alliance. I can't. That seemed like a slam dunk. That seemed like a shoe-in sort of thing that you do. My mind is boggling. And this is the thing with Sandra. Like, we know that she's the sassy queen of Survivor, and anybody but me, and I don't care. But it seems to me that Sandra thinks short term and doesn't think long term. And she votes emotionally instead of voting logically most of the time. Like, she just wanted Tyson out because he targeted her once. Like, I get it, like, you can't trust him, but, he's offering a really good idea. It sounded good to Tyson, it sounded good to Sarah. You guys were able to pull Kim in. That just, like, Sandra has a target on her back. Tony, you have a target on your back. Sarah has a target on her back. All of these, I mean, this is exactly what we expected to happen. That you guys were going to get picked off, and the one-timers were just going to rule the roost. And now you've opened the door for them to rule the roost. So I really liked Tyson. He was hilarious this episode. Like, there were a couple of times this episode where I was just cracking up laughing because he had his classic, one-liners going. So I was sad that he'd left tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week because they're finally doing a tribe swap. And I didn't know Michelle dated somebody on this cast. I'm going to have to find out who that is. I had no idea that that's something that she did. But the tribe swap should shake things up and hopefully keep things interesting. I hope it does. So, what did everybody else think of tonight's episode? Let me know, and I'll try to do this a little bit more regularly. So hopefully next week I don't forget about it, and we'll talk about each episode week by week. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Okay, bye.